I saw in my recommendations a 40-minute clip from one of Baush's streams in which he went on about Warhammer 40,000, and I only saw bits and pieces of it. The whole thing was rather boring, honestly, and most of it was a summary. But it did remind me of this thing Arjun has talked about, where the left doesn't understand the right. Either they just start falling for their own propaganda, or the dysgenic effects of what they want hits them at a faster rate than it does everyone else. I find it telling that the death of the author goes right out the window whenever something that's listed as satire gets interpreted in a way that runs contrary to the current zeitgeist. I mean, they say, Baush was saying the emperor fails, and that's sort of the irony about making Donald Trump in the image of the God Emperor of mankind, and well, that was rather cringe. I think it's worth noting that one of the reasons that the emperor had the Baush Eresy and everything blow up in his face because of this enforced secularism. He had this massive blind spot, not acknowledging that religion is an essential part of the human experience. And in spite of all the satire, it is worth mentioning that the sinful nature of man is an essential part of the 40K universe. You know, a lot of sci-fi that's popularized, it has this progressive attitude, where, Star Trek is the best example of this, where man is just going to go further and further exploring. Science is going to solve all our problems. We just evolve into better people. The problems that plague humanity aren't constant due to human nature. Which is kind of funny, because what I understand about the dark age of technology in 40K, that is basically the Star Trek future, and it goes to shit. A human marshmallow like Baush, he can't understand the romanticism of a doomed situation. The courage, honor, duty, that these sort of things are fundamentally alien to him. The idea that there is more to life than your cummies, that your dopamine hits. Basically, the idea of facing a creature which embodies your doom and shooting it in the face, giving it your best go. Like Solomon Kane, Conan. Now, in a lot of ways, 40K's attitude about individual and whatnot, it's very contrary to the ego trip that is ubiquitous in modern media, especially your current runner of superhero materials. Everybody's got their own special, uniform thing. Everyone's a special snowflake with their own unique powers. Well, in 40K, it is a lot of anonymous people doing their damnedest in a bleak situation because they believe in something. Now about going back to this other point, Baush talking about people failing to see the satire, embracing the straw man, if you will. Now, that there is there is sort of this neo-sincerity where people will LARP so hard that they believe the LARP. Part of this comes from the need for something authentic. It's no surprise with all the blatant mediocrity in media, the just utter shit out there that soulless. People talk on and on saying nothing. it's like the difference between a muted color palette versus something vibrant, colorful, with contrasts. Strong lights, strong darks, lots of varied colors. And something like 40K with its bombast represents that brilliant contrast. Now, Baush can go on about satire all he wants, but art has this way of swerving into the truth no matter what the intent of those who make it. And I think a big part of the popularity of 40K in conservative circles is because it speaks to the persistence of the human spirit even in the bleakest of situations, even when reason, logic, and all of the visible signs say there should be no hope. Humanity will find hope, even if it's in something as flawed as the image of the emperor. In a way, it's life imitating art. The emperor pushed against this concept of his divinity. He becomes the unifying religious symbol of the Imperium of Man. Meanwhile, in the real world, people inside and outside of Games Workshop are insisting that everything about 40K, it's not admirable, it's not something to aspire to, and yet people find the positive to take from this. And I really didn't have this organized too well, so just off-the-cuff thoughts. Thank you all for listening, and praise the Omnissiah.